So,
it just needs a right next to it.
and I'm going to mute everyone.
Water animals.
Okay, so we'll mute everyone. Hi. Okay, so we'll spend a little bit of time talking about why SMART goals suck. And spotlight video. Okay, very cool. All right, so one of the things that I ran into as an individual is that I grew up being able to attain goals fairly easily without really being trained on how to make that happen. Grew up in a small town, so there wasn't a whole lot of, people to contend with at that point, but was very, very good at sports and all that kind of stuff. Got a lot of really huge accomplishments. I want to say that I still hold some state records when it comes to volleyball. I don't know, I haven't checked because I don't want to say that I've been beat out. But anyways, and then you make that progression to college, and you're still you're still in a bigger pond. You go to a bigger pond, but you're still kind of rocking it. And then you get thrust into the real world, real life kind of stuff. And you find out that you're really kind of fish bait for sharks out there. And you're really not that good at much of anything, or at least you're not as good. And so you kind of struggle with that piece of that goals piece. And then it was in 2001 where I was thrust into a situation where I had to become an entrepreneur. And so I tried a whole bunch of different things. I went to a lot of different trainings, and everybody was talking about these SMART goals. And so I tried all different kinds of ways of writing them. I tried to be very, very particular in how I did it, because I figured that if I wrote it right, then it would happen, because everybody said those SMART goals, they're the bee's knees when it comes to attaining your goals. The only thing I do, I know for a fact is that when you get very serious about your goals, you have to be in that space where you are very clear about it and you actually write them down. That is what we know. Like the 1% of the 1% of all the people who are making it in the world write their goals down. They're very clear. They have a nice vision, all that kind of stuff. But that's really not enough. This process for me, for like learning this whole goals piece, went on for years. I want like lots of years, not like a couple of years, like years. Like if I started being an entrepreneur in 2001 and I didn't learn this until about 2014, it's a long time to be studying goals and trying to figure it out. Really just kind of walking through life, muddling through the mud and struggling with that piece. And then, of course, then what happens is that your confidence goes in the toilet and you start beating yourself up and talking horribly to yourself and all that kind of stuff. And it's not because you're not smart enough or you're not good enough or that you just don't have the right skill set. It's because you don't understand how the brain works. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that, but let's first talk about why SMART goals suck. All right, so what does SMART mean? So we'll start there. SMART, specific, right? S is for specific. That part I do completely and totally agree with. Through this process, we will get down to understanding a difference between a goal and a habit. There are two very, very distinct differences, and you have to know the difference between the two, okay? Yes, we still want to be very specific, and if you want, we can work through some examples of how to work down into the 90-day piece is why we do that piece, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But so we want to be specific about what we want, and so hopefully everyone here has already kind of thought and sat down and worked through what you want your entire, like the end game. What does December 31st, 2019 look like? Hopefully everybody has an idea of what you want that to be. Yes? Okay, cool. So specific. Then the next one is M, measurable. You have to be able to measure it. You have to be able to track it. You have to be able to know when you've achieved that. If you do something like, I just want to be healthier, I don't know that that's necessarily measurable. You can't quantify it. You may feel better, but you can't quantify it. Okay, so make sure it's measurable. So the next two parts are what makes the SMART suck. A, achievable. Does that sound like another word for mediocrity? Oh, kind of, yeah. You want to make sure, you know, everybody's like, you want to make sure you're not going to be blown out, or you know, you just want to win. You want to get that win. So here's what I know is that as human beings, we tend to be lazy. Like, we will do the least amount necessary in order to get anything, right? Like, or we'll wait until the last minute to get it done. Whatever that is, that's what we kind of end up doing. And the other part is that you have absolutely no idea what you are completely and fully capable of. Nor can I. I don't have the opportunity, or I can't even say, do you think that's really achievable? Do you really think that, you know, I don't have that kind of authority either. So I just feel like the word achievable is crap. Okay, so that's where we're going with that. It's Monday morning. All right. So then R ends up being, it can be a couple of things. Relevant. What was the other word that they always used? I mean, of course it's going to be relevant because it's your goal. So it's kind of just, at this point, redundant. And so I don't really like that. And then T is time-based. And so we're looking at either 2019, December 31st, 2019 as being that time-based, but then I'm going to show you how to chunk down those goals and achieve bigger goals in a shorter amount of time. I'm not saying that you're going to get all of 2019 in 90 days. That's just craziness. But we can certainly work to that space where we think bigger, and then we trick our brains into knowing we can do it. So there's a difference between saying, hey, this is what I want, but then making it so that we know we can do it. Does that make sense? All right, so let me read you what a SMART goal sounds like. Let me see. It's around here somewhere in here. Okay, here it is. So here's a SMART goal. Within 2 months, our blog traffic will add a total of 400 unique visitors by doubling our publishing frequency from 2 posts per week to 4 by increasing our word count per blog from 800 to 1,600 words. If I had to write that goal down more than once, I might poke my eye out, or both of them. Does that inspire you? Like, are you like getting out of bed going, woo, I'm gonna write more? Or, you know, whatever, maybe that, you know what I'm saying? Here would be another example that's more geared towards us. By the end of the year, I will have made 60,000 by keeping my calendar full with 2 networking events each week and by having 28 client appointments per week. Ugh, puke, right? So that's why SMART goals suck. Nobody's inspired by that. So here's what we have to know. We have a right brain, we have a left brain, and then we have to understand how they talk to each other. So when we speak something, when we say, I want to be agency vice president by December 31st of 2019, or whatever your goal is, you are only engaging the right side of your brain. However, when you write it down, then you start tapping into the left side of your brain. And what does the left side of your brain do? It starts making lists. It starts saying, hey, you've got to do this, 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 this in order to make that happen. And then when you're not doing it, does anybody ever felt guilt? Yeah, that's because your left brain's going, hey, you're not doing what we planned on doing. Remember, we had this goal and you're not doing it? That's where that's coming from, is because the left side of your brain is going, hey, I made lists. I made plans and you're not sticking to it. So the other piece, and I would say this is the most important part of the whole goals process, is figuring out why. Why do you want this goal? What would it do to your life, to your family's life? How would it change? You need to become emotionally invested. You need to visually see, and when you write your goals down, it's I'm so happy and grateful that, as if you'd already achieved it. So when you write down your goal, and the reason why I write it down every day is because when I was trying to do this many moons ago and not knowing what I was doing, thinking I was doing the right thing, but feeling like a loser at the same time, is because I wrote it down, or I typed it out, or I did whatever, but I wasn't focused on it. I didn't spend that much time reviewing it. And so this gives you the opportunity to write it every single day. It helps you become laser focused. No more shiny ball syndrome, no more like, oh, I want to be lazy. It changes your body physiologically because we've tapped into your subconscious, where that's where all the magic happens. Writing it down allows you to get into your subconscious, your supercomputer, and to start really changing the way that you think and show up and do life, right? And so I can give you some of the science here really quick. So that band in between the two hemispheres, right? When you write it down, it goes to your left side of your brain. And then when these two sides of your brain are on the same page, it sends electrical signals back and forth. This side's getting more creative, this side's getting more logical, all that kind of stuff. And then the electrical signals move into the fluid that surrounds your brain and travels up and down your spinal column. So it'll change the way you show up, it'll change the way that you think, it'll change your confidence, it'll change your vibration. Right? So if you're focused on goodness, you're not going to be putting negative stuff out there, right? Because when we put negative vibrations out there, we attract more crud into our life, right? So if we're all in goodness and happiness and grateful and all that kind of stuff, then we can only attract more of that good stuff because we've changed our vibration. So that's some of the good stuff. But the hardest part is figuring out that goal piece, right? That's the hardest part, but it's the most crucial part. So who would like me to spend some time going through your yearly goal and then chunking it down to your next 90 days. Jason, okay.
Go.
All right, I'm ready.
Black jacket by December 31st, chunk down to red jacket by April 1st.
Okay, red by April. Okay, where are you at currently as far as PC?
20,000 right now, but I just submitted another 20,000.
Okay. And do you know how much what else you have in the funnel as far as people to follow up with, all that kind of stuff? The reason why we like 90 days is because we can see that far in the future.
Ooh. There's at least 5,000 in our funnel.
Okay. So you have 45,000. So you need another, basically 40,000 to be red.
Right.
Okay. And I think that's totally doable. So you figured out what you have to do in order to get that. What do you have to focus on?
Meet new people. And just the model, meet new people, inviting, follow up. Meet new people, invite, follow up, or invite, event, follow up.
100. You need to invite exactly 9 people a week.
That's easy. Broken down like that. That's easy.
So if you wanted to go even bigger, it's that easy to trick your brain. So when you use a big number like, hey, okay, I need to get 40,000.
That sounds huge.
It sounds big, right?
Right.
But then if I break it down into, hey, you need to meet at least 5 new people a week and invite 9 people a week.
Then it brings it down to that. That's totally okay. We can do it.
So now your brain is on board, right?
Right. Yep.
So I'm so happy and grateful that I have achieved red jacket by April or March 31st. And then the why. Why do you want this goal? What would it do for you guys personally, for your family, whatever that why is, whether it's, hey, I'm going to make more money and I'm going to pay off debt, or I'm going to, whatever that is, really get very clear as to why that piece is so huge.
It would get me out of having to drive a FedEx truck back and forth to Denver every night.
Okay.
It would get me back to full-time 5 rings.
Okay. Awesome. And then it's your gratitudes, and then you're all in massive action. So inside the book, so for your next 90 days, you're going to be working on red jacket.
Yes.
You write your commitment, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you're going to do for yourself once you get there, because there's that reward piece, right? And it doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be massive. It could just be like, I'm going to go get a massage, or, whatever. Whatever it is that you want. And so here, this little space right here is what helps you build your habits. So it's the habits that you do every day, every week, that compound and will help you, right? I gotta make 9 invites every week. You can just round it up to 10. I gotta meet 5 new people. It says just 2, but I always say 5. More people, right? And then you'll put in here personal development, right? Because that's the other piece that we have to do every single day. And then the rest of it could be whatever. So, like my big thing that I'm working on this year, I've had this, is that I can still work out 3 times a week. I can still do some meditation and still get my goal, my big goal that I want.
BHAG.
Yeah. I know I can still do that. But that goes in that habit section. It isn't a goal, it's a habit. Because I want to do it every single week or every day or whatever I want to do. Because it's a habit. And so you don't want to be breaking into a whole lot of habits. But the idea is that this little space right here can be your accountability partner. What I realized early on is that I am a horrible accountability partner for other people. I would be like, oh yeah, rah, rah, rah in person. But as soon as I left the meeting, I could care less about their business because I was so focused on mine. And so I didn't care. So I wouldn't call them because so I'm a horrible accountability partner. And I just tell people, I was like, I don't do accountability partners because I have this. And then it just tells me what I did really well, what I didn't do, what I got to change the next week and show up a little bit better. It's no like, oh, you shoulda. None of that happens. It just, oh, I just got to be a little bit more mindful, a little bit more present and go through that piece. And then you're all in massive actions at the bottom here of each day. Those are the things that you got to get done. Like that's going to be moving you forward. So whether it's, I've got to, on Mondays, maybe you got to set up your social media posts for that, for the whole entire week. Or I've got to call and I got to follow up, or whatever it is, that's your all in massive action. That's the things that you have to get done. You know, for people who like lists and like to check that stuff off, that's what you do. Did anybody else want me to run through their goals? Don't be afraid. Don't be shy, because this is where I help you, like drill it down, because it's the drilling down that, like for me, like it's so easy to go big. Like my brain just works that way. I can go big vision, big idea all the time, but my brain would be like, that's funny, right?
So,
And
Chris,
then as soon as someone showed me how to break that down into those, I can totally do that.
My goal for the year is to make leadership retreat,
Oh, cool.
and I think that's the first jacket, which is I've got
Yeah.
color.
That's an awesome goal. So the leadership retreats, so that one's a little bit different because we have a couple of different cutoffs, right? So to earn leadership retreat, you'd have to have your numbers, anything placed by August 31st.
Yep.
Okay. So let me do a little bit of math here. seems weird that I have to get my phone to do my calculator. But so you'll want to have basically your funds put in or everything submitted by the end of July at the latest.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 8. Okay. So you would basically, in order to hit that leadership, you would have to call 14 people a week.
14 people. That's a lot.
It's not too bad.
No.
Nope.
No.
How much time does that take?
You 2 a day.
Yeah. So like 7 minutes.
7 minutes, yeah.
Right? And the more often you do it, the easier it is. It's just like bam, right? Like we just become obsessive about that. And so then you'll find that some days you'll do 5 and some days it just, that's pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. I think that's a great goal. And totally doable. Totally. Anybody else? Monica, did you want to? Okay. Hi.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm swamped. I had you folding laundry, but this is going to be an unusual question. Melanie and I, we were talking about, what would 1 hour a day do for us? I work 9 hours at my other job per day, so I'm wondering what 1 hour a day for 5 rings would do. Any idea? Any feedback on that?
Yes, that should net you about $23,000 to $25,000 a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that'll get me a jacket, won't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, even if it doesn't, it will. It'll definitely boost your confidence and get you that much closer to whatever it is that, because I know you like your job and you
Yes.
enjoy your job very much. So I don't know what your entire goal or vision or piece of that is, but just doing 1 hour a day would be awesome, because that just even would, and it's not always going to be just prospecting. Some of that's going to be the personal development. Some of that's going to be the training and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, cool deal. That's what I was hoping you would say. So hopefully 1 hour. Melanie also mentioned trying to talk to between around 10 people a day and see where that would spend 5 minutes with each person. And I'm hoping I've got lots and lots of people on Facebook that I can talk to.
Yeah.
Oh, which, by the way, what a pleasant surprise. I didn't expect that when I was checking my Facebook. So.
Awesome. Very cool.
All right. And I've got to get back to work. I'm at the job that I love. So you're going to be listen. You can't see me, but I will be listening. Okay.
Okay. That sounds great. Thanks.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, come on.
All right. Perfect. Anybody else? Was this helpful? Did anybody have any questions?
Can you go back to the all in massive action items again, Kristen? And
Yep.
touch some more on those.
So those are for me, I always write down the stuff I have to get done that day. So that can range anywhere from, following up with carriers, getting information from clients to them, whatever, doing illustrations. It could, a lot of mine is, I'm obsessive about marketing. So I'm always thinking and doing something along those lines. As far as that marketing piece, I know a lot of people don't like marketing, but you should learn to love it, because the better you get at it, the more people you get to help. And so, that could be like follow up. I've got to call this person. I got to, whatever. It's just those action items that will move you closer towards that goal. So it's all in massive action is all like goal related, business related, not like, hey, I've got to do the laundry. Right? Like, or because let's be honest, I don't like doing laundry. So but it's that all in massive, got to get this done, get to check some stuff off, moving forward. And okay, Jerome has oh yes, that would be totally smart. Okay, so I will show you how to break down your goal. And I'm going to share my screen, I think. There we go, share. Oh, I can't share. Ed doesn't have a touch screen. Okay. So we'll just do this. If everybody wants to pull out some paper, and you can go along with me as I show you how to break this down. And I'll do it with you. So let's say, there's a couple of different ways we can do this. Let's say your goal is 60,000 and you're still in that space where you're being mentored, and so you have to split commissions, all that kind of stuff. We'll just walk through that piece of it. So 60,000 is the goal by December 31st, 2019. Means we've got our blue jacket and we know our why, why we want to get this, all that kind of stuff. So in order to break down this 60,000, here's what we know. We know some pretty basic stuff about what when we sell something, what does that equal, right? So let's say that on average we sell a $70 a month term living benefits policy per month. That equals, you take that times 12, that's 840 PC, but that's also the amount you get paid on. And we're going to split that, so that's going to be 420 is the amount there. Let's say we focused on doing $5 a day for a lot of our clients. If $5 a day equals $1 million at the end of the year, or at the end of 40 years. So $150 a month doesn't quite equal 1,800 PC. I would say it's right around 1,500 PC, and that's the amount we get paid on. And if you have to split, that's 750. Following me so far? And let's say you are averaging about $50,000 in IRA 401k rollovers. That is 2,500 in PC. Which is 2,500, geez, 1,250. And divided by 2, yep, 1,250. Your commissions end up being a little bit funky depending where you're at, but let's just focus on the PC piece of it. So, because that's ultimately what I kind of track everything with, is my PC and my activity. So if we take 60,000 and we divide that by 420, you would have to write 143 policies over the next year if you just focused on living benefits. Brain's not there yet, right? Brain is not following. They're like, nope, but even if you did 143 divided by 12, that's really only 12 policies a month. Almost getting there, right? So let's say we focused on just doing tax-free retirement, and we took 60,000 and divided that by 750. That equals 80 over the next year that we'd have to write, divided by 12. And that is 7 tax-free retirement policies a month. But maybe you're in that space where you say, I'm just going to focus on IRA rollovers. I think it's going to be a stellar year to write roll over a lot of money just because the market's tanking. So 60,000 divided by 1250 equals 48 over the next year, divided by 12. You'd have to do 4 of those a month. That seems doable, right? But we know that our business is not just one of those products. It is always a combination of all of them. So if we focused on, let me do this 5. Seven, 8, 48. That's pretty darn close. So what if you focused on writing 5 term living benefits policies, 2 tax-free retirements, and 1 rollover a month? Could you do that? Do you know what that is? That's almost 5,000 PC a month. Times 12 equals 60,000. Bam! So that 60,000 means that you would have to call and invite 13 people a week. And you want to add 3 new people at least. I always say 5. You want to do 5 people a week and adding them to your funnel. Did everybody follow the math? Did your brain get on board? Yes, 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 Jerome says, awesome. Any other questions? So it's really more about getting your brain saying yes. How did I get 13 people a week? Andre Semino made this spreadsheet a while ago, and I'm happy to send it to anybody who'd like to. He made it available to anybody, but really you just type in the numbers that you want, and it spits out what you have to do as activities. Catherine, can you send me your email? Send me your email and I'll send it to you guys. It's a fun little spreadsheet to just kind of, it comes down to, hey, to get those 10 people to say yes, you have to call 20 or 40. So I'll write all this down. Yeah. So it's just
The year is
just
actually
numbers.
216. Sorry about that.
Do what?
It's the year on that. It's Kathy. It's Reynolds.Kathy 2016 at Gmail.
Oh, okay, cool.
Sorry.
That's all right. You got excited. Stacy J. 5969. Jerome Mickens. All right, cool. All right. Was this helpful for everybody? Does everybody have a clear sense of the goals piece and really how you tap in and just make stuff happen? So here's the cool thing. If you live locally, I have these on hand, but this is on Amazon. Hi, sweetheart. Yes, she got some when she saw me at National Train Camp. And so 2 days, it'll be here, and then you can start rocking it out for the next 90 days. Don't get caught up. Like some people are like, well, I didn't do it for a couple of days, and so do I need to like start all over? No, just pick up where you left off and just get back into it. It's there to really, just help you build habits, right? There's no like, oh, I messed up, right? There's no such thing. I even do it. You heard me say that on stage. I got lazy. And so you can go to Amazon, bam, 2 days, it's there. And just work it and keep working it, because I know the process, it works. It works way better. And every time I do it, it's awesome. So let me make sure I've got all these. I'm gonna stop recording.